and the full year in the finals. So make sure you do stay tuned as we make our way through crowning a champion so we can give away those months of premiums to our viewers at home. But again, we're going to start with Kennen Haas on your right. He gets the option to play first. Chris Berry on your left. We don't have very many people left here this evening in the Indianapolis Convention Center. Now, most of them didn't try to go home, booked a hotel room. They'll be sleeping cozy at a lot of the hotels around here. But we have at least 8 people left this evening, and we're only going to have one hoist a trophy. So let us begin with a Mox Diamond that does get the thumbs up. Haas is going to discard a Bajuka Bog, a card that's actually pretty good in this matchup, but Life in the Loam means that he's going to be able to get it back.
Yeah, this could represent an early loam, but instead.
Going to see a Faithless Looting here from Haas. Going to draw 2 and discard 2 cards here momentarily. Bloodstained Mire there on the table as well. Now, ideally, he's going to want to sacrifice that as soon as he can so he does not get hit by a Stifle. Discarding Squee Goblin Nabob. Buckle up, Patrick. It only gets better from here.
That's free.
That is free. Yes, sir, it is. And Haas is going to pass the turn back. So Barry's going to draw a card. He draws a Brainstorm for the turn. You see the Force Will, the Ponder, the Lightning Bolt. Couple lands in his hand right now. So not the best of hands for a Rug Delver player.
Yeah, and it's really dangerous to give Kennen this much time, because once he gets his shop set up, especially with Life from the Loam, the card advantage and sort of value he generates over time, really hard to keep up with.
Squeeze coming back to the grip. Chris Berry wants to take a look at that. We're going to do the same. The old school Squee artwork, not the new school. At the beginning of your upkeep, you return it to your hand if it's in your graveyard. 1/1. What's the best deck Squee was in? Maybe some sort of survival deck, probably?
The YMG Reanimator deck from Proto New Orleans.
Okay. Far and away the best one?
I mean, not even close, yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Squee was in that deck. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong on that one.
I know our people on Twitter will know. So, hey, shout at us at SCG Live, hashtag SCGINDY. The best Squee deck. Squee has a big reputation behind it. I think it's everyone kind of likes the card, too, to be fair.
Yeah.
You see Haas is going to play Grove of the Burn Willows and pass the turn back. Barry going to take a draw step here. He's got a Fire and Ice, which is not going to do a lot in this matchup. Haas has but one creature in his deck. It's a Nether Spirit, which he can entomb for. Oh, baby. You can see a Brainstorm here from Barry. Alright, so that's going to resolve. We're going to draw ourselves. Looks to be a Tarmogoyf, a Ponder, and a Force of Will for the Rug Delver player. We'll see what 2 cards he does decide to put back. And of course, if you guys are wondering how the other matches are going, we will let you guys know as soon as we do find out how those Delver versus X matches are going. As Delver is in all 4 matches here. 3 blue-white reds and a Singleton Rug.
I think Kennen missed a window last turn to just drop Squee into play.
Yeah, he really could have turned up the heat.
Yeah.
See, Brainstorm is resolved here.
Some shades of True Name Nemesis. You're on offense, that's cool. You're on defense, that's cool too.
They're basically the same card.
Essentially the same card.
Bloodstained Mire going to get sacrificed in response to the Scalding Tar there for Haas, trying to play around Stifle, which Barry does have in his deck list. Again, both players do have the information given, so I'd imagine that he does have them. He's got 4 in his deck.
Yep.
Okay. You know, normally when you're playing against Rug Delver in the Swiss rounds of the turn where you don't know if your opponent has Stifle or not, most of them do, but some of them don't. You try your best to play around it, but now that Haas knows that his opponent has Stifle, he can play around it appropriately.
It is weird that, you know, we're in kind of this industry standard place where you see Rug, you expect Stifle, you see Blue, White, Red, you do not, even though they're very similar decks in a lot of respects.
Yes.
It's just certain deck lists get pedigrees, and those are the lists that get copied, and, you know, that's all there is to it.
Oh, my apologies. He has 2 creatures in his deck. I said only 1. Nether Spirit is Squee in his hand.
Yeah.
There are 2. My apologies. Here's a Ponder. And again, Haas, no counter magic here, so green light's on. See Bolt, Brainstorm, and a mystery card there.
And I believe he's already discarded a crop rotation.
Yep.
Which he has 2 of in his list, apparently, so that would be a possible response there.
You guys will be able to find the deck list here, especially this innovative one by Kennen Haas, on our coverage page over at Star City Games. So head over that way if you're looking to see what made the top 8, the top 16, and the top 32 this evening. Don't know who the winner's going to be yet, but you can certainly see the top 8 list. Ponder's going to resolve, pass the turn back here. So Haas, not facing down a creature, not being pressured, none of that stuff. He can kind of do what he needs to do.
The big thing is to find Loam. If he's able to find Loam on a stable board, it makes the rest of the game very easy.
Ideally trying to put together the combination of Loam and Wasteland. So, time to draw. It's an Entomb. Entomb finds Loam. There's a fetch land. So that's going to get sacrificed. Yes, it is.
There's a lot of moving parts in this Jund list.
I'm prepared to be entertained. Trust me. I was blown away. And I really, really do like this deck, actually. So let's see what Haas wants to do on this turn.
Well, he's got a pretty good window here to. He also has Smallpox in his hand. His hand's pretty loaded.
Might have Liliana here. He's just going to flashback Faithlessly and play around Days. And so that's good to go. So hit 1. Hit 2. See, copy Liliana here. Let's see what card 2 wants to discard. Squee. Freebie!
Excellent choice.
Yep. Gonna have to find one more. There goes an Entomb. So decides he doesn't even need Entomb.
Okay. That implies a pretty powerful hand.
Yeah, yeah. If you're discarding Entomb, you got to be really happy with your configuration, your setup right now. So let's see how this ends up playing out. So that's a loud statement there, discarding Entomb.
Oh yeah. And these tempo decks, they're pretty threat light, and they spend a lot of their early turns often are just cantripping and setting up. When the other deck is developing its board and sculpting its hand, the way that Kennen is, often it can be too late by the time you actually start getting some pressure on the board.
Well, Brainstorm is where we're going to start here for Mr. Berry. Going to sacrifice the old fetch land.
Is this in response?
I believe it is, yeah. Maybe he feels that he made an error.
Not necessarily. His hand's all spells.
Yeah.
He may just not want to shuffle right now.
Sure.
I mean, if that was the case, then I think it's reasonable to consider not brainstorming and just casting your Tarmogoyf and passing the turn.
Inclined to agree with you on that one.
Looked like his hand was some bolts and some Force of Wills.
Peter Tragos, our 5 seed, playing blue at Red Delver. He does defeat Dylan Jones in game number 1, playing Sneak and Show.
And that's a big one, being on the draw there. Or breaking serve in that matchup in the first game is critical, as he has a lot of good action in the sideboard.
So we're going to see this Brainstorm resolve here in a moment. And again, Haas, a deck that's not going to have very many responses because he does not have any counter magic in his Jund deck. So Force of Will, Stifle, and a Spell Pierce are the cards that are drawn here for Barry. We'll see what he wants to put back, how he wants to go about doing this. A lot of Force of Wills in the grip. I can't imagine Force of Will being very good against this deck.
No, it's very attrition-oriented. Force of Will is rarely good against that style of deck. But he is kind of all in on this one Tarmogoyf. The rest of his hand is just protection. It's just Force of Will and Stifle, basically. If he's able to protect this Tarmogoyf, he might be able to end the game quickly, but if Keenan's able to power through these Force of Wills and actually kill that Tarmogoyf, Chris does not have a lot left over.
See a Scalding Tarn in his hand, so he does have a fetch land to make this a good Brainstorm. It might be time to deploy a Tarmogoyf here.
I like sticking the Goyf here. You got a lot of Force of Wills to back it up, so.
Yep. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, Keenan probably has a lot of removal in his hand, and worst comes to worst, he does have Squee on chump block duty.
All right, Squee's going to come back to the grip here for Haas. That's 2. Should we do the running count of how many times Squee comes back? How much value is gained?
Yeah. So I believe we're in Keenan's upkeep. He does have an Entomb, so I think he's contemplating perhaps entombing an upkeep, but instead just decides to untap.
You can see our Tarmogoyf out here is a 3/4.
Appears that Keenan has just run his singleton Punishing Fire.
So we're going to see what he wants to drop. It's going to be an attempt at Liliana the Veil, which I think we're going to fight over here.
With Chris all in on this Tarmogoyf and his hand as reactive as it is, yeah, definitely worth fighting over Liliana.
So thumbs up. Liliana bites the dust. We'll see if Haas has a land to play that taps for black mana so he can cast Smallpox this turn. But again, he is at 18, so he can afford to take a hit or two.
Yep.
He's underneath a significant amount of pressure.
Yeah, I think Kennen probably has the resources to wear down these Force of Wills.
Yeah. And again, that is a Tarmogoyf that is a 3/4 because of Planeswalker, Instant, and Land. Don't think there's any sorceries in here. Okay, there's a sorcery from Ponder, so now they're all good to go. So Tarmogoyf into the red zone. Haas is going to take 4. He's going to go down to 14.
We've seen this Rug Delver play pattern before of one threat and hope you can carry it the whole way.
I mean, this is how this deck operates. Sometimes it's Delver, sometimes it's Nimble Mongoose. This time it's Tarmogoyf. You know, hold on for dear life. Just clinching on. So, Haas going to take a draw step here. He's got a Wasteland in. Yeah, Wasteland, obviously a great card against Rug Delver, especially if he can get the lock going with that and Life in the Loam. But we're far away from that point. He's going to start here by trying to resolve a Smallpox.
This again, you know, Keenan's deck has so many good spot removal spells for Tarmogoyf here. It's going to be really hard for Chris to preserve this Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, his deck is really good against a deck that wants to just have one creature and play and ride it to victory, which is what Rug Delver and Blue-White Red Delver want to do. You see Smallpox over here. It's going to bait out a Force Will. And even though Tarmogoyf doesn't die, you got to love that trade.
Yes.
If you're Kennen. You know, I'm at 14. I'm probably going to go down to 10. That's fine. But again, now I've taken care of 2, it looks like 3 Force of Wills. I'm doing really, really good. As he's going to tap 3 mana, he's going to cast. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Squee, it is time to block.
Not all of the all the Force of Wills in the world cannot save you from this.
Oh, boy. I love the Squee in this deck. Lightning Bolt. Ah, the answer. You had not considered that, had you?
You get to do this once.
Yeah.
You make this one count.
What to do, little Goblin Nabob? You could be torched by lightning.
Chris has been whittled down to
Oh.
a Force of Will he can't cast and a Lightning Bolt he does not want to cast.
Shoot that. Now, Tarmogoyf is going to take up momentarily. I hope that Mr. Berry is ready to roll that die back down.
Don't get too attached to that 5/6 because
Haas is going to go down to 9 here. And again, he does just have 1 Force of Will. Give me my Squee back. Thank you very much, says Kennen, as he will take a draw step here in just a moment. Tarmogoyf does roll back down to a 4/5.
still contemplating an Entomb here, but gonna hold off.
Dark Depths the draw step. So it's one piece of the combo. And I think he's got to imagine that, I mean, especially where Spell Pierce and Daze aren't going to get the job done. It's time to pull the trigger on this Liliana and take care of that Tarmogoyf. Now, the one thing to be wary of is a Stifle on the Liliana activation.
Yep.
That could end up being a bit of a pain. So he's going to reorganize his mana. And now, here comes the Planeswalker.
And we know that Stifle got pitched to Force of Will. Only Force of Will left in Chris's hand. And so this Liliana in the clear.
Get that Tarmogoyf out of here, says Kennen. And again, we do know he does have a Dark Depths in his hand. He's got the Squee. Not sure the other contents there.
I believe he has an Entomb.
Okay.
He's
been considering that. Yeah, I apologize. Yep. Looks like he's going to fire it off now. Yeah. So now he knows that it's good. Now Spell Pierce could take care of this, but
that's okay.
Yeah.
Don't mind getting the last card of the hand that way.
Now, the fun part is, what's he going to search for? I'd like to believe it's Loam.
Let me see what other...
But he's got some other gassers, yeah.
He's got Raven's Crime he could go get here. If he wanted to just... or Nether Spirit.
Yep.
More chump blockers.
More attackers.
Well, eventually attackers.
Yeah. And it's kind of fun, too, because he can have the interaction of, yes, Squee goes to the graveyard, but it only goes to the graveyard momentarily, and then Spirit can come back the following turn. Yeah, so he can always make sure that his 2/2 is getting into the red zone. And out of the graveyard, most importantly. Barry draws a Wasteland for the turn, so he can play the Wasteland so he can hardcast a Force of Will. But by playing that, it's going to get that Force Will is going to get discarded to Liliana most likely, especially because Haas has a Squee in his hand, so he has something he's more than happy to discard. As you see, all of the synergy with this deck. Nether Spirit comes in from the graveyard. Haas has a Squee in grip, something he's very happy to discard. So up goes the Liliana. There goes the Force. There goes Punishing Fire. Don't want to discard Squee. That's fine too.
Well, I wouldn't. You don't want to discard Squee here because in the event that um, Chris were to rip Lightning Bolt, he
Okay.
could kill the Nether Spirit, and then you would be on a delay, return the Nether Spirit because there would be a creature in the graveyard. So this ensures that Nether Spirit stays in play.
Sure. I mean,
Even if there's
Nether
a-
Spirit will be able to come back, but yeah, you said it will
The
just be on
subsequent
delay.
turn. Yeah, it's a one-turn delay.
Yeah.
So
You see, Barry's gonna take a look at Dark Depths. We can do that as well for you guys at home. Makes it 2020. Cold Snap Rare that really dominated Extended.
yes.
The year that Jerry Thompson designed Dark Depths plus Thopter Foundry, Theps as it was known, or DDT, my preferred name.
Two good combos in one deck. We've seen that recipe over Magic's history.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like that might be the best version of it. I'm not sure. I mean, that deck was dominant. Multiple Grand Prix wins, won a whole lot of PTQs for people. That was a really, really good deck. You see Delver's Secret's going to come into play here. And basically what Haas has done is he's kind of locked Barry's draw step out of the game in a way that, you know, a lot of the time when you play against Rogue Delver and you imagine their draw step locked out, it's because there's a Chalice of the Void in play. So the one man spells they draw can't really do anything. However, Haas has this engine online right now where Liliana's making you discard the card that you draw. If it's a Tarmogoyf, you sacrifice it. If you draw, you know, a Delver, okay, Punishing Fire, get it back with Grove. If you let Depth stay in play, okay, then with his Wasteland, I still have my Grove and other things. So he's really got him in like a pretty hard lock right now.
Yeah, Chris really can't start doing anything until he's able to bolt or whatever to get Liliana off the table.
Yeah.
Because that locks out all of his best draws. And even if he does draw a bolt this turn and kills Liliana, there's other terrible things going on for him, as you just described.
Like a Life from the Loam, returning Wasteland and other things, and Chris Berry
Taps
says,
the mat.
No more, thank you very much. That is going to do it. The sleeper hold has been engaged by Kennen Haas. He's going to win game number 1 here of our quarterfinals. As we're going to bring it back here to the booth for you guys, it's trivia time.
Mm-hmm.
So, me or you? Who wants to ask? Me?
You.
All right. Rules?
So, Cedric is going to ask a question pertaining to the elimination rounds of this tournament or the matches going on. You're going to tweet your answer at SCG Live, hashtag SCG Premium, and one correct answer out of the lot will be selected at random and receive 3 free months of Star City Games Premium. It's not a race. We choose out of all the correct answers, so don't worry about responding first, just accurately.
All right. So, predictably, I have to ask a question about Kennen's deck.
Of course.
It's very easy pickings here of all the fun things that he can do. He's got a whole lot of one-ofs in his deck.
These are fun ofs.
These are definitely fun of. One of them has a rather long name, and he has one in his main deck and one in his sideboard. Rather expensive land that he can search with crop rotation. Makes it so that your creatures have a bit of an upkeep too. If you can name that one of that he has in his main deck and one in the sideboard, that makes creatures have a little bit of a tax on them. Hashtag your answer with the hashtag of SCG Premium. And again, we will announce the winner at the conclusion of our quarterfinal round. A fun card that we've had some fun with on SCG Live over the years.
A long and storied history of killing large swaths of creatures over multiple turns.
Yes, we have seen it happen. I don't know if we'll see it happen again, but we will find out. As we're going to bring it back to the match here, so we can go over the sideboards here for you guys. Taking a look, we'll start with Craig Berry's list first, as the Rug Delver player will be on the play this go around.
He has 3 copies of Submerge, 2 Graph Digger's Cages, a Surgical Extraction, which I believe he will certainly want here, a Pyroclasm, a Rough Tumble, 2 Ancient Grudges, a Red Elemental Blast, a Pyroblast, a Gilded Drake, a Grim Lavamancer, and a Flusterstorm. Not really a lot of action to fight this kind of deck. I do think the Surgical Extraction is very good. Of course, Kennen is operating out of his graveyard in a number of ways. Life from Below, Nether Spirit, Squee. Bringing some of that stuff up is valuable. But the rest of his sideboard, not providing a lot of utility here.
On Mr. Haas's side, 3 Pithing Needle, 1 Sphere of Resistance, a Phyrexian Ingester. Quick, Patrick, do you know what that is?
I do not.
It is it has X and Y on it. It's a fun card. It's like a duplicate, but it's a 3/3. I think it costs 7 mana. There's an Exploration, an Ancient Grudge, a Coffin Purge, a Crop Rotation, a Punishing Fire, Ray Revelation, 2 copies of Innocent Blood, 1 Maze of Ith, and 1 Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. Of the cards that he's going to want against Rug Delver, let's take a look here.
Innocent Blood is excellent.
Yeah, it's fantastic against him. Might want Maze of Ith.
Yes.
An additional one. He has one in his main deck. He can board in a second one. I don't love Crop Rotation, even though Crop Rotation is actually really good against opposing Wastelands. But I don't think that he's going to need that. And then I actually like it's tough. Like, I think Punishing Fire is okay because it tags Delvers, which is one of the ways you can actually just lose the game, is to a Delver flipping and then them messing with you the entire time. He's got one in his main deck. I could see a reason to bring in the second one, even though it's not great because it's not going to take care of Tarmogoyf or Nimble Mongoose.
Well, you can de-emphasize it a little bit once you're bringing in Innocent Blood as well. You
Sure.
have kind of more removal. And like you said, Punishing Fire is quite narrow. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really only there for Delver. Innocent Blood's like a card I'm really surprised has seen as little play as it has in Legacy, given the dominance of Rogue Delver over the last couple of years. The fact that control decks like Esper regularly lost to Nimble Mongoose and didn't have any edicts anywhere in their 75 to me was kind of crazy. So I can really appreciate Kennen dusting that one off.
Yeah, I mean, they oftentimes, as you mentioned, had a real problem with that of just like having like a lot of answers and then just taking 3 a bunch. And it's like maybe there's something wrong. We could fix it. Get an edict in our deck. Something
If only
of that
there
nature.
was some way. There was only some way. And you couldn't Spell Snare it because Spell Snare was very good against Esper Blade for Stoneforge Mystic and a variety of reasons. So Innocent Blood, I believe, is one of the, I would say, top 10 most underplayed Legacy cards in my mind. So
a really good card.
Yeah.
It was a really, really good card. So again, if you guys are just joining us, Cedric Phillips, Patrick Sullivan, we're in the elimination rounds here of our Legacy Open. Our standard champion, he's long gone by now. I think he's tried to maybe make the drive back to Milwaukee. I'm not sure if he's trying to stay here tonight or not, but Owen Turtenwald is who I speak of. He's already hoisted 1 trophy, but we're working our way towards crowning another one here in Legacy. No back-to-back, so Jerry Thompson, you're safe.
Yep.
No one taking your crown of back-to-back winners in one Open. Owen certainly formidable. He actually lost his win-in match to Kennen.
Yes.
So the dream was ruined here.
I think Kennen's deck has to be excellent against Delver strategies.
I can't imagine it's not. Especially after that game.
Yeah, every card he played was, if you're on the other side of the table, it's round 1 of the tournament, you don't know who this guy is. Every card he played is one of those eyeball rolling, oh, you got to be kidding me, this also is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially when, you're forced to force a full, basically all the cards that he's casting, it's like, smallpox. I can't let that resolve. My deck has 18 lands, and I always have 1 creature in play, so I have to fight over that. I have to fight over loam to some extent, depending on the board state. There's just a lot of things you have to fight over here, which is exactly what Kennen wants to have happen. Kind of puts you into the old submission hold that we mentioned, and, that'll pretty much do it. So we will see how this game goes. Now, the one thing about Rug Delver, it is one of the best decks in the format, and so even though Kennen's deck looked very impressive there, it can still, get a quick Delver, a quick Nimble Mongoose, and kill you before you do get set up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big lesson to take away from that game in my mind. Chris spent a lot of the earlier turns setting up his hand with cantrips. You don't have that kind of luxury against decks like this. You need to get on the ground fast, pierce and daze and force a will as much as you can, and try to quickly deal 20. Trying to set up this long game and outgrind them is impossible.
Yep. Quick result here for you guys. Josh Gibo up a game here over Tony Wong. That's going to be our backup match, of course. Red Delver versus Junk Depths. Hopefully we'll have time to cut over to that version of the Dark Depths that we're seeing here in the top 8. But Josh Gibo, your number 1 seed. We saw him win his winning in, able to take care of it. As we're going to start off with the Tabernacle. Can you pass the test?
Yeah, and this is showing some tricksiness from Kennen here, having the Italian Tabernacle.
Yeah.
Much lower likely to be forgotten. This is back when they more frequently made lands that didn't tap for mana. I assure you this was common back in my day.
Yeah.
All creatures have an upkeep of 1 mana.
You have to pay to play.
Yeah.
And of course there's the fun interaction with that in Urborg. It means that, hey, if I
Now
have
it makes
Urborg to
mana.
play, yeah, I can make mana. So that's on the stack. That's on the stack. Opponents' effects go on the stack first.
No, active players go on the stack first, but the
Opponents
inactive
would
players resolve first.
Yes.
So he has to pay for Delver. Okay, they're going to let him, I think technically correct ops is that he has to pay for Tabernacle first before resolving the Delver flip.
Okay. I mean, it looks like both players agree.
Yeah, it's
that this is okay. So here is a volcanic island and attacking for 3. So after that is all said and done, gonna pass the turn back, I believe. We'll see if he isn't gonna. Yeah, he's just gonna pass back. So.
So now, Chris again sitting on a pretty reactive hand here. So he's leaning very heavily on this Insectile Aberration.
He does have the Urborg in his hand. Not too surprising, honestly. Could actually just windmill some of Smallpox here.
I think he also has Mazavith in his hand, so he's debating between those two.
A lot of Wasteland targets, but he's kind of overloading Wasteland.
But it's possible that Urborg is actually, now that he's sort of squeezing the Insectile Aberration from both sides with Maze and Tabernacle. It's possible Urborg is actually the land he needs to protect now because he's relying on it to generate mana off these colorless lands.
I love the fact that our first two lands in play, neither of them tap for mana.
Yes. Again, this is a sign of a bygone era.
I'm in heaven. I am. So he'll be paying 1 mana here for the Tabernacle. Now there is a Scalding Tarn.
Can't really attack now because of Mazavith.
Yep, nope, that Insectile Aberration is not going anywhere. So it's time to start tripping.
Yeah, certainly his hand doesn't allow him to go anywhere right now, so he's got to build something up.
Okay, and we got the official ruling here. So what ends up happening is with the Tabernacle and the Delver flip. So they end up being both of his triggers because his Delver
it gains. Oh, okay,
pay
sure.
1 more, so he can stack them how he'd like to.
Sure, the Tabernacle doesn't trigger. It's all creatures gain.
Okay,
ability,
yeah.
Sure.
So now that we have that cleared up for any viewers at home and all that stuff, it means that Chris did do things right, and we were incorrect here in the booth, but we're glad we are able to fix that error. So we see a Ponder and a Scalding Tarn get sacrificed here, and we are all healthy, good to go.
But, adding additional creatures to the board is helpful insofar as he needs to plow through this Mazavith, but it further squeezes him into the Tabernacle of Pentrel Vale, makes any wastelands that Kennen draws really bad. I mean, of course, Ken doesn't have any mana yet, and he's susceptible to Wasteland himself, but he's getting a really good defensive posture set up here.
Yeah. So let's see what's going to happen this go around. You see a Nimble Mongoose that can hit the board here, or we can do some more cantripping. See what Barry wants to do. He's going to get the creature in play. Now this is going to lock up his mana a little bit more now, though. So while he's making some progress on the board and how much damage he can try to deal, again, this is going to lock his lands up. And if Haas is able to get a Wastelands going or Smallpox or stuff like that, things get a little bit ugly.
Oh yeah.
Now you do see the Forcible there in Barry's hand, so he's probably going to, he's going to use that on something, but again, if it's like anything we saw in the first game, you're really going to overload the Forcibles with all these must-counter spells. I wonder if Haas wants to play the Urborg this go-around. The answer is yes. Let's see if he's going to try to cast Smallpox. He does have a Liliana Veil in his hand as well. That's something that he could choose to drop here. It does open himself up to getting dazed and everything else that goes along with playing Interrupt Delver. So
also, Liliana will just get killed. I mean, Kennen's not really in that much of a rush right now. His Tabernacle plus Mazavith board is really good against what Chris has done thus far. So
that's true.
You can try to hold off a little bit longer on deploying Liliana.
Tabernacle tapping for a black mana due to Urborg. And now we could see we aren't seeing a tomb here. I'm interested to see what he's going to search for. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if he goes and finds Nether Spirit right now.
Yep. So he has Mazavith checking the Insectile Aberration, and then he has Nether Spirit on the ground to block the Nimble Mongoose.
This is an example here yet again of a spell that Barry has to counter with Force of Will. So he just 2-for-1s himself there, and it seems like he's just going to have to 2-for-1 himself over and over and over again. And now that Haas has a backup Entomb, it looks like, in his hand. Yikes.
Yeah. Really rough.
Yeah, so there's the Entomb. And this one's resolving. So let's see what he's going to go search for. He's going to consult his hand really quick. And again, he's got a lot of choices. He can go, go get Loam, go get Squee, go get Nether Spirit.
I like getting Nether Spirit here, I think.
Go get Punishing Fire, but I don't think Punishing Fire is great in this situation. I'm kind of partial to the Spirit as well, assuming that he left it in. There it is.
Yep.
Grind you out.
Yep. And Kennen's still with 5 cards in his hand.
Yeah. And you take a look at Barry's hand, he's got a Ponder and a Stifle, and that's it. And again, it's not The goal when you play against Rug is to run them out of resources. That's the plan. Now, it's obviously harder said than done, but Rug knows that he can't play a very long game. Yeah, he can't play a long game, so as a result, he needs to try to kill the opponent as fast as he can, and it's going to be hard to do.
Well, a lot of it is just Kennen's able to provide resistance starting on turn 1, basically, with Maze or Tabernacle or Innocent Blood. Usually the Delver deck at least has a little while to get out in the front foot, but Kennen allows him nothing like that.
Yeah. So 2 creatures in play. There's your Delver. There's your Goose. And let's see what Barry can put together. That Ponder's going to be real important in this game, that's for sure. The Stifle, not so much. That one's not going to do a ton this go around. I'm actually kind of curious how good Stifle is in this matchup.
It seems pretty poor to me. I mean, you might be able to tag some fetch lands, but Kennen's not really been in a position where Stifle would have done anything in either one of these games thus far.
Tabernacle test is passed. It's going to, again, lock down that mana. Can't cast a Ponder or a Brainstorm here, as that was Barry's draw, so we'll see how he wants to start. He's going to go with Ponder. Of course, Barry, no responses. That's going to resolve.
I mean, I think the card that Chris really needs to find here is Wasteland. That's the only thing that starts freeing up any of his resources.
Yeah.
Extra creatures don't matter. Counter spells are marginal. He's not in a position to bolt his opponent out. It really is just Wasteland I feel like we're playing towards right now.
And you speak of Wasteland, I think that's a card that Kennen wants to really draw too.
Oh, both players would really like.
Yeah. Shows just how good that card is, that's for sure. So let's see what we find here. There's a Nimble Mongoose. Not very exciting. Still puts you in the same squeeze that he's already in of, yeah, you can add to the board if you'd like to, but it squeezes your mana really badly. So Brainstorm, Goose, and a Stifle in the grip here for Barry. So he can attack here. I mean, basically enforce 3 point of damage. That's the best he can do on this turn.
Yep.
Mazavith will take care of the Delver, so he's not even going to bother attacking with the Delver. And that damage will come across. But now, as you said, the Nomonic is going to be checked here by the Nether Spirit. And
yep.
even if it were to become a 3/3, block it anyway. That's fine. So in comes the Spirit, and he will not have to pay 1. He will not have to pay 1 for the Tabernacle. So, quick update for you guys. As you're going to see, the players make sure the Nether Spirit is going to come in and play and resolve correctly. Peter Tragos is going to win his match 2-0 over Dylan Jones. So, Sneak and Show, no longer with us. No more Emeralds, no more Gristle Brands to be had in this tournament. But a Blue-White-Red Delver is going to move on. Going to play the winner of Josh Gibo, who is up a game, versus Tony Wong. This is a Mox Diamond. And that's Haas discarding a Verdant Catacombs. So now he's got access to all the colors of the rainbow.
And his hand is loaded too. There's a small pox, a Liliana.
Lily Pad's a good place to start. With Maze guarding it. I want to see if it's going to go up or down. It's kind of bad either way for Barry.
Yeah. I mean, both are fine.
And Delver bites looks like Delver's going to bite the dust. It's tough. I mean, which one's better to sacrifice here? Well, the one thing here for Barry is that at least it opens up a mana for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this way if he draws Wasteland, he can get to Liliana.
Yeah, I think Haas may have been able to get an attack there with the Nether Spirit. Oh, it came back this turn. Never mind. Take that back. Delver secrets the draw here for Barry. Make an attempt. Wrong.
Lost in the maze.
Yeah.
We'll stifle the maze.
Stifle it. Okay. All right. Yep, so stifle the maze trigger. All right, there goes my Liliana. That one's done.
But exchanging resources this way is such a battle.
This is everything Haas would want and more.
This is an excruciating way to try to slog through Kennen's cards.
This is an absolute dream come true if that's the play that Barry is making. Noah Mongo's going to join the party, still in the same problem here, as Tabernacle is going to pay for the Nether Spirit. It's the squeeze slowly applying the sleeper hold.
Another Mazavith. My God.
Faithless Looting in hand. There's another Liliana. Yep. Same situation. Down to 1. Probably going to lose the old Nimble Mongoose this go around again.
Maybe mix it up.
All right. So there goes the Delver. Now, of course, Nimble Mongoose can't be targeted by Maze of Ith, so he's got that in his favor.
Yeah, I mean, Lightning Bolt potentially, again, clears out another Spirit for a turn and allows him to attack.
Take a draw. There's a Daze.
Tabernacle is in play, so Nimble Mongoose is dead.
Failed the test.
I wouldn't worry too much about it because I feel as though any creature at this point is pretty low productivity.
Yeah, I mean, none of the creatures are really going to get anything done. Problem there, the way that Rug Delver wins...
Oh, it's eventually involves the creature.
Is by attacking.
Right.
Yeah. Not the first time a Tabernacle has taken someone with it.
Chris ultimately might end up being happy that his demise was accelerated slightly here.
This is true. This is true.
As he stares at a hand of Daze, Delver of Secrets, and Brainstorm.
I think you got to start the turn with a Brainstorm if you're going to start anywhere.
Yeah.
See if you can find something to do. So let's see exactly what this Brainstorm is going to find. Not a ton. Quick update for you guys. Josh Gibo going to win his match. 2 games to none over Tony Wong. Blue-White Red Delver takes care of Junk Depths. So 2 Blue-White Red Delver players going to be playing in the next round. Josh Gibo versus Peter Tragos as we make our way through the quarterfinals here.
And Chris has finally picked up a Wasteland here, so we can start breaking out a little bit here. But it's unclear how he can even start targeting. It's unclear how he's even supposed to start targeting any of the lands here. The Maze of Ith and the Tabernacle are all so prohibitive that it's hard to even know where to begin.
Yeah, you could roll die in with the Wasteland, honestly.
Right.
Tarmogoyf and a Delver. So the hand's empty here for Barry. Now, obviously, this is starting to put a little bit of a threat on the table. But again, at the same time, not really, because now it constricts the mana for what Barry can do. Fortunately for him, this is a deck that doesn't require a lot of mana to function. So let's see what Haas draws. He draws a Punishing Fire.
Well, it's not bad here as he can Punishing Fire the Delver, and then Smallpox.
Yeah, away the Tarmogoyf, yeah. Assuming that there's a card in his hand that he wants to discard.
I mean, he has Faithless Looting, so he has a
freebie.
flashback. So yeah.
Oh, freebie. That's synergy.
Also allows him to plus a Liliana without having to worry about.
Oh my goodness.
All the little things coming together.
So there's your Punishing Fire. Get the Delver out of here. That's what Haas is going to do. Up goes the Liliana. I mean, he doesn't have to Pox, honestly, because he has Maze and Nether Spirit. Like,
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that just is a testament to how good things are going here, right? Where it's like, I could cast Smallpox, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I guess he has Tarmogoyf covered by 3 different things in play. He has another Spirit and 2 Maze of Ith, so.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to do that. Wasteland going to take down the Maze. I want to take down Urborg.
Yeah, I mean, at least you're cutting him off of some resource if you get rid of Urborg.
If you take care of Urborg, he has 1 mana to work with. He's going to take care of the Maze instead. And daze the draw step.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty helpless for Chris here, kind of no matter what, but I feel like he needs to at least pick some angle to attack Kennen on, and mana is the one resource he could kind of cut him off from.
See, Haas can take a draw step here. Finds a Wasteland. Uh-oh. It's like the slowest submission hold ever.
Yeah. Chris, middle of the ring, nowhere near the rope.
Not even close to the rope, my goodness. The ropes are actually being pulled away from him.
Right, the ring is expanding.
Yeah, somehow.
Into the crowd.
Yeah. There's Smallpox. He's more than happy to pay for days, I promise you that. You see, Chris is going to take a look at things, see what's happening, and he's going to hardcast a Daze, I think, say, okay, you have to pay for this, and
Sure.
I think Haas is going to do it with Amazevis so that he can resolve the smallpox. Things are going to die, all that good stuff. There goes Nether Spirit. Oh, darn. He'll sacrifice a land, probably happily sacrifice a Mazavith, since there are no more creatures in play.
Mesa Pith, somewhat redundant.
Yeah. And now Barry has to sacrifice a land. And then you get the maze, you get the wasteland, the other land. Jeez. So there goes Volcanic, and so he can cut off a red sources. Yeah. Or you can cut, yeah, you can cut him off red or green. Green's actually the better one to cut him off of.
And then,
Yeah. There it is. There it is.
Chris.
Sleeper hold engaged.
Sleeper hold.
That's right.
Chris, you fought valiantly, but I really think you did the wise thing there, rather than be killed over 8 turns by another spirit.
Yeah. Someone raised this man's hand. UFC champion. The sleeper hold is in. Kennen Haas, second time on camera. Impressive stuff. Didn't even need to make the Dark Depths open to get the job done.
Just sawing through these